it's Grace. In this video, I want to talk about the women I've known, or some of them, who have the kind of histrionic behaviors, and the men who are always there to protect them. Okay, even when they do wrong, men that I've seen this happen too many times would protect them. And one instance that I recall, I'm going to say the opposite. And it was years ago. There was a woman, she was my friend. She'd been my friend for years, since like high school. But we were older. We were, I don't know, in our 20s. And she, I think it was our late 20s. And she had been a model when she was younger. She was real skinny, pretty, all this. And she and I went out, and I was more of the designated driver. And we went out to a club, and I had been sick and all that, and I wanted to leave, and she didn't want to leave. And she was angry. And I never understood, at the time, I didn't understand why was she so angry at this club. It was a little place where people dance and stuff. And eventually I realized what was wrong with her is that, she had been a model and everything. It was because men were asking me to dance, and they weren't asking her. Okay. She got very angry. Okay, so, in a club it's real busy and loud and all this stuff. And I kept telling her I needed to go home. I was feeling worse, and as it turned out, I had pneumonia at the end of this. But, it's a long story. Anyway, I told her that I wanted to go home. She didn't want to. She was really angry. It's because, she wanted all the attention on herself, and instead, men were asking me to dance, really. Okay, and for her, that was like a histrionic injury. People say narcissistic injury. That was a histrionic injury, because she wasn't getting all the attention. Instead, men were asking me to dance. Now, there's more to that. I was turning them down. I didn't like to dance, never learned how to dance, never liked it. So that was even worse to her. Anyway, at one point I went to the restroom. She followed me in there, and she started a big fight. A huge, try to start a fight with me. Now, she was a little tiny thing, and here I am, this gentle giant, more like an Amazon woman, and I refused. Of course I refused to fight. I'm not the type to fight. And she made a big deal. Women now that would come in the restroom, all of a sudden they started ganging up on me. They were like, didn't know her, but they were nobody we knew, but they were like her flying monkeys, And I just had to leave. I had to walk out. And there was a hotel next door, so I went and stayed in the hotel next door, and in the in the front part of it, and just sat there. And now I can say that this is a story of my life. Is that being the tall woman and tall girl when I was young, I was always at fault. If there was somebody smaller. And there is even a story I have about this same woman. Years later, I was helping her, and she had left her boyfriend and with her premature baby, and stayed in my house. It was my apartment, and I almost had to leave my apartment because she claimed the same kind of thing. She was good at this. And this time it was with the police. I had called them on her, and they said that because of my size next to hers, I would be the one that would go to prison go to jail if something happened, like we got in a fight. I wasn't going to fight her, like I said. So somebody, it seemed like, was always there. The guy, the police officer, I remember saying, that's wrong, and he said, just because of my size, he said, that's how it is. But, okay, I can see that. But still, it was always like somebody was there to protect her. Always. Now, the guys, they weren't protecting her, but, was there a chance, you see? Okay, anyway, I have seen this kind of thing for most of my life, I'd say. Really, when they know how to work it. They know how to play the victim. When they're doing something to somebody else, when they're jealous, at any moment, that they see they can get that attention. And what they're looking for is some kind of sense of superiority. And superiority complex tends to be something that's masking an inferiority complex. And in this situation, I'm not so sure about that. I'm thinking more that they love that feeling of being above everybody. So they really need that. You know, it still could be the same thing. You know, that they constantly need constant validation of their superiority. And that's quite a bit of what this woman did. And at some point, though, it seemed to me when she thought she might go too far, she'd kind of back off. But I've seen it plenty of times. I've seen it with strangers, you know, just perfect strangers. Somebody does something wrong to somebody out in the public, and next thing you know, they're playing the victim when they were the one that you could witness doing it wrong. But anyway, what about you? Have you seen people like this? And it doesn't have to be female. It can be male. A lot of people think that histrionic males must be gay or bi. They can be straight, you know? Put them in those terms. But yeah, they'll do anything to make it seem like they're the victim. They're the one that's being done wrong when they're the ones doing wrong. Anyway, leave a comment below if you've seen it, got any stories. And if you want to subscribe to this channel, click the circle. If you want to watch another video on this channel, click on the rectangles. Like, subscribe, comment, and share if you would. And I'll talk to you all in another video. Bye.